Warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. These are the last few hours of 2025 and a final Indian football discussion here on my channel, Arunfoot, for the year. And I wanted to wish everybody all the best for 2026. I wish us as Indian football fans a lot of hopeful, wishful thinking that 2026, with our hopes and wishes that things change. But even on the last day of the year, things are happening and which are, I would say, disturbing in nature. And I am not sure what is going to happen in the near future, but I wanted to thank you all for always all your support in the year 2025. Hope you have my back in 2026 as well. Support the channel Arun Foot, help me to grow this channel, and that we defend what is right for Indian football. Again, that's always my motive, not only today or yesterday, or will be my motive tomorrow in the new year as well, but that has been a motive over the last 27, 28 years, and therefore like, share, and subscribe. And and therefore, thanks a lot, guys. And that. Good evening, Anish. Good evening, Raj. Guys, welcome back. And Shivam says AIFF is performing at professional level of blackmailing and extortion right now. Shivam, it is. I don't know what to call it. To be very, very honest to you, I really don't want to know what is in the mind or in the head of the people leading the All India Football Federation to come out and do what they've done today with that latest letter saying, "Hey, tomorrow." So just to put on a summary, the All India Football Federation has sent a letter to all of the 14 prospective ISL teams and saying that by tomorrow you need to confirm to us if you are going to be part of the league, yes or no, because we need to inform the Sports Ministry, the Supreme Court of India, and the Asian Football Confederation. And as far as I know, again, I don't know why tomorrow, because if you're going to reach out to the Supreme Court, they're not opening until sometime next week. The Sports Ministry, I feel, has also given up on you as an AIFF, and the AFC doesn't even know what's happening in India. So this is it is shocking, to say the least, of what is happening at this moment in time, and therefore, yeah, it's crazy to think that the AFF is asked by tomorrow, all the 14 clubs, to say, are you taking part or are you not taking part? And what I've said, this will be now the proof in regard to the clubs. How united are the clubs? And what is the real aim of the All India Football Federation? That is the question that I have at the end of the day. What is the aim of the All India Football Federation? To hold some sort of league to say, tick mark, I've done it, like you're doing currently with the IWL. It's a tick mark, right? The IWL being held as a 20-day tournament is not a league. Don't call it league, right? In India, anyway, we have a problem of whatever we call leagues because 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, that's a league for you. Indian football was better than this. And the year 2025 is ending, in my opinion, in the worst possible way. Because the AIFF is putting pressure on clubs without confirming to them. My 5 questions that I asked a couple of days ago. Governance. Who's going to be in charge in regard to leadership of that new ISL entity? Who's going to fund it? Who's going to be a commercial partner? And who's going to be a broadcaster? And so therefore, this is, I honestly don't know where we're heading. To be honest, I have partly given up on Indian football. I don't know what to, but G9, I fully get you. And I will, even though I will cover mainly Indian football, but once in a while I will do international football. But I think I will in the coming days, rename our Indian football discussion to the global football discussion or something of the sorts. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Because what is left? What is left of Indian football um, on this last day, in these last few hours of 2025? You know? And I don't know where we're heading with this. This is just insane to think. Raj says, I definitely know Kalyan Chaube and its regime knew there would be a financial burden without commercial partner. With commercial partner, also AIFF was going in loss. Then also they did the whole fiasco. Raj, I don't think so. You are giving them more credit than they deserve. You know? Because the All India Football Federation, I think, again, this is not knowing, this is an assumption that I'm making here now. I think and I feel that the All India Football Federation thought someone or the other will turn up. They had this, at some stage I would have said late last year, early this year, oh, you know what, Shrachi Sports could be their savior. Someone else might be the savior. I think in ignorance, incompetence, and lack of understanding things, they might have thought someone's going to do it. And there is no sinister plan behind it to me. This is just incompetence, right? If you give them credit, say there's a plan behind it. I don't think so. I do not believe there is any kind of plan, whatever behind it. This just all happened. This just exploded in their face and they didn't even realize that this happened. Welcome to the world of the AIFF in the year 2025 or at the end of the year 2025. This is where we stand at this moment in time. And this is crazy to think. So therefore, for me, if you ask me, they would have either calculated, you know what, let's get rid of Reliance. Let's get somebody else in. Okay, could have worked. Or Reliance will agree to some sort of demands. None of that has happened. So, and Raj, I'd like to know what AIFF actually wants. You want to know, I want to know, we all want to know. Do they themselves know what they want? Do they actually, So, let's see. I hope the tender fails again because this is going to be a hell of a financial burden on the clubs. Shivam, is there going to be a tender? My question, right? For me, the problem here is if you see the last 9, 10, 11 days, the clubs are hoping there is something behind that. Something will be organized, something will be done. And then slowly the realization settled in with the clubs. It's like, you know what? Not working, not happening. It's brutal. But the clubs, I don't know. And to follow up Avirup's question, to answer yours, sir, will the club sign a letter to Vasavian League? There is no clarity on that. I've said I think there are 5, 6 clubs potentially willing to play. But under these circumstances, under these financial circumstances, where the burden falls on the because the AIFF can't do it, which club would agree to it? And this is the real test. What will be the reply of the 14 clubs or 13 or 12? This is the test. You now need to stand united against the All India Football Federation because otherwise, it's not going anywhere. Odisha FC seem to be wrapping up. Shivam, they've been on a standby mode now for 3 months. Right? As sad as it is, but they have not been active or proactive or whatever you want to call it. right? They're there, they're alive, but they're not there the way you've seen them in the last few years, right? Having allowed players to leave, having allowed Sergio Lobera to leave, Raj Atwal left as well. Yeah, those are the things. As Robo has launched new podcast channel, I hope he doesn't give Scooter a platform to spread his own propaganda. Have you said, Robert, about some Scooter so-called achievement PR? No, Raj, these are not conversations that you have with people. And I think Bao will be smart enough to realize that. And we won't we have to be told. Arunji Samzaz left to 2026. Happy New Year in advance. May I hope 2026 ends with joy and happiness in you and all those who watch and all subscribers. Thank you, Hypermaster, for that. My best wishes to you and everybody else as well on the occasion of New Year. I wish for you, for me, for us, that we get a better year 2026 because, yeah, 2025. Watch my take on 2025, the toughest year for me in regard to Indian football that I have witnessed. And we've gone from one disaster to another disaster. It seems like we're going from bad to worse, and therefore I wish and I hope that we can that things change in a right direction maybe, and then who knows. If AIFF and club fail to bring FSDL or any financial partners, that's possible will help directly through PSL, government companies, and other Joomla. Nobody's going to help. The sports ministry has already said we're not helping you with money. And PSUs, we discussed this yesterday. PSUs today are not the PSUs of 2005, 2004, 2008. These are different times, right? So therefore, none of that is happening. FSDL, nobody's talking to FSDL. So this whole FSDL comeback talk, and doesn't matter, right? So therefore, I don't see anybody else also stepping in at the moment, given the realities. If the clubs don't unite this time, at least, then they should not expect from others, fans. Oh, sorry, they don't care about fans. Yeah, but Raj, it is not. It is difficult. I do understand that the one or the other CEO is of the compulsion of saying, you know what, I have to keep the system running. Whatever may be, worst case scenario, I just have to keep the club running. So you have to understand the other side as well. But to me, is very, very simple. The clubs, if they stand together, the AIFF can't do anything, right? And the point is that the pressure needs to grow on the AIFF. Given the current circumstances, the pressure needs to go on the AIFF that either they act or they just go away. The EXCO won't take a decision. The AGM hasn't taken a decision. The state associations haven't taken a decision. This AIFF at this current form and format needs to go. Happy New Year, sir. Wish all content creators, journalists, Indian players, Indian football fans, all Indian footballers worldwide very happy. New Year in advance. May Indian football throw all negativity. Thanks, Shanlata. All the best to you as well for 2026. Let's see what the year brings. Do footballers represent us the national team or part-time real influencers? Why is silent on or in party mode right now? Shivam, I've seen some messages. I saw this very compelling message today from Shovik Chakraborty, which he's put out. I read it on Twitter. Um, but again, I think some again, you as is in society, there are some people who, whatever happens. Some are trying to salvage the situation. So yeah, we are in the situation we are in. Wish all Palva carries as when New Year starts. Wish all 20 memorable and positive for Indian football and hope good performances. Not all removal negativity, but some positivity. Yeah, Shanlata, I think we all would love to have some positivity, but at the moment, tough. If all ISL clubs were to unite and withdraw in protest, would Kalyan and his administration be able to continue? Arnav, yes. That is none of the reasons to remove Kalyan Chaubey, but the pressure would grow, right? That someone has to act. At the moment, A is pushing it to B is pushing it to C is pushing it to D, and then it's going back to A. Then it's a merry-go-round, and nobody's actually willing to take a hard decision. Tough calls. This situation, so therefore, for me, none of it is it's a very delicate affair at the moment with its complexities, and it's very interesting to see what happens. Hey, Shaggy. AIFF are doing desperate things without a commercial model. There's no way any clubs will be happy It feels like watching last day of transfer window now. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, Shaggy. Um, the clubs aren't, again, the clubs aren't happy anyway. Whatever the solution will be, no one will be happy with the solution. It's just a solution for the sake of a solution at the moment. It's not a solution which takes us forward. Forget this season, in the next 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years. What is the mid to long term solution? And this, what is being discussed, even the model proposed by the AIFF makes no sense. This model will collapse sooner than later. My question is anyone in Indian football going to stand up, remove the top brass, ensure elections as per earliest possibilities, and then hopefully the right people come in? I know the right people are in the background are working on things, but and this is where we are. But sir, we don't have infrastructure. Raj, doesn't matter. Infrastructure is not the most. As I've said multiple times, no investor will come unless they change that clause. AIFF will operate the league. That false messiah literally hit the final nail in the coffin. How he draws the visa is beyond me. G9I, this is ignorance. You are all these people who've made comparisons, this and that. Again, it starts, right? What Indian football is, what's the value of TV rights? It's zero. At the moment, it's a big zero. What's the value of the league? It's a big zero. Commercially, it's a big zero. What's the value of anything? Indian football has no value. This is the most brutal learning of 2025, with most people within the system or even besides the system, outside the system, who, whatever your position is, do not want to really understand. Indian football at the moment is valueless. So the problem here is, even if the clause is changed, let's say the Supreme Court changes the clause, who would come forward? Given the realities of whoever comes forward, you are losing a few hundred crores over the next 3 to 5 years. It makes no business sense. So the question is, first find a workable model to try and get break even in a 3 to 5 year period. And then go out into the market and find a commercial partner. At the moment, the way this is structured, the way this is running, this cannot work, right? This is one thing which I realize. At the moment, our structure is in such a way that we are not getting anywhere. This is a huge, huge danger in all of our conversations and discussion. The whole discussion is about, okay, let's find someone to plug the gaps and plug the funding. Who's going to do that? Why would someone do that? My view on ISL I-League by Constitution Sports Ministry, yes, league comes under AIFF, but with FSA with 16 teams and have less cap with ISL, I-League 1, 2, 3. Hypermaster makes no sense. Sorry. And I've said this. Whoever says it needs to be under, nothing needs to be under the AIFF. The Premier League is not under the FA. The Bundesliga is not under the DFB. The Royal Spanish Football Association does not run La Liga, MLS, A-League, whatever, name it. They're all not under the federation. The Supreme Court of India had nothing to do with the league. They were supposed to create a constitution for the federation, to give guidelines, to give guardrails for the federation to be able to run. So what are we talking about? I-League 2, 3, out of the discussion. I-League 3, 2 clubs don't want to play. If you would talk to I-League 2 clubs, they're telling you, hey, normally the league would have started home and away, whatever number of teams we would have played. Now, I don't want to play. Because even if you're playing I-League 2, you theoretically, what are you playing to go? Where? What? The AIFF have successfully, in this current situation, killed the whole system. It's crazy. To think about what we are and what situation we are is SOS, alarm ring bells should be ringing left, right, and center with the current situation. East Bengal, Mohanbagan East Bengal, Amader legacy Ache, this is core problem of giant Kolkata clubs. Raj, legacy, and this is, forget East Bengal, Mohanbagan. This is Bengal football's biggest problem. They talk about legacy. To have legacy is good in a sport, right? But your whole premise cannot be built on legacy. Legacy should be a bonus. But at the moment, the legacy is drawing you back from being at the forefront of trying to change things and trying to evolve and develop things. If we want to talk about development, sorry, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan have never been at the forefront of development in Indian football. So then legacy has no value. You know, winter transfer window will be most active this time. No, why? We will hear about players leaving, right? We're hearing every day foreigners going here, there. I've not heard any. I said this yesterday, right? I had contact with some players or players had contacted me in September, October. I've not had contact with any player in the last few couple of weeks in regard to, hey, Dada, can you help with something abroad? No one. So, KSG is just enjoying his tenure. Shivam, I don't even know if he's enjoying it. This is the funny one. Does anyone know? I don't know. What is the end game? Is the end game to destroy Indian football? I don't know. Just foreigners leaving, nothing else. Footballers have no passion, no vision. Yeah. Sir, if there are 5, 6 clubs play, what will be the AFC slot? If more clubs don't play, then will I-League clubs pay money to league? Don't see any lights at the moment. Obirup, please don't talk about an AFC slot. I said this yesterday. The point here is, do we have a league? If you play something jumbled up for the sake of playing, it's like, as I said earlier, it's like playing an IWL, or you can call it, I don't know, Federation Cup or Desperate Indian Football League or whatever. Right? AFC slot is far, far away. Right? We're not going to play 24 matches. So we've already, that criteria has fallen. 8 months league, second, right? If you're talking about a potential league for the sake of a league happening, yes. I think ISL I-League, there most probably are enough entities who are crazy enough to say, listen, let's play some sort of league. But if they realize the cost involved, this is the realization with a lot of I-League, ISL clubs and also I-League clubs now as well, from what I've heard. You're realizing the costs left, right, and center are too high. Brutal realization. And this makes it difficult for you to keep your entity alive and running. Big question, big problem, right? Not an easy solution. And that is where the challenge lies for the AIFF now. Is just charity now. Raj, it's not charity now. Indian football, since its inception per se, club football has been charity. Someone or the other has been funding whatever. Right? Even 100 years ago, whoever was running whatever club, someone or the other was putting the money up for things to happen. So therefore, Indian football is charity on a large part. Most of I-League clubs don't even have an academy. Most of their players and amateur contracts don't pay on time, don't have a community presence, and lack basic professionalism, barely function. G9I, yes, for some it is, for some it isn't. But again, yeah. Where do we stand? If they wanted the league to start, it would have started by now. It's just time pass going on. Augusto, yeah. So the point here is, where does this go? Right? There is no understanding and realization where we start. That is my biggest concern, that so many people are surprised by what has been happening. So let's wait and see. Right, more than 25 minutes. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my social medias at arunfoot.com. And again, always on the last day of the year, also my big thank you. 10 likes so far. I think we can do better. And of course, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on growing the community. On the last day of the year, we stand at 3,630. Thank you very much. Let's get it to 4. Let's get it to 5. Let's get it to 10,000. Thanks a lot. My Instagram is growing at the moment. And yeah, thanks a lot for that as well. In Indian owned football only, we YouTubers, little amounts of viewers, watchers, some examiners only. We are concerned for tricolor jersey. India, we are afraid, but no one does care. Only we. Hypermaster, no. I think there are people who care. Do all the ones that you've mentioned, do they also care? Do they understand? Yes, they care, but do they really know what is right or wrong? That is my concern. Caring is good. I know a lot of people who care, but they do the wrong things. We need knowledge. We need competence. We need a certain level of idealism, but also a little understanding of the business of sports. Otherwise, this is not going to work. I fear this might not be something which we can even resolve next year. Shaggy, I think, as I said, I think we need elections in the AFF. We need a new AFF. Sir, forget about EPL, etc. As Indonesia clubs own the league. Yeah, Europe, very true. Is it true, sir, that whoever club that won't participate in this year's league will be relegated? I have really said this to clubs. It's true that no words. Rudra, I haven't heard this. I've read it on Twitter, but I haven't. Again, none of the official communication says that. North Korea is better than India because North Korea is dictatorship. Oh, Harish, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Fans worrying about AFC slot is that clubs perform fantastic in Asia. Yeah, Rudra. Again, that's my point. Again, this AFC slot was for the clubs a distraction from having to agree to the AFF, because the AFF has to go to AFC and ask, hey, listen, do we still have this? Right. Hi, Akash. Welcome back. I wish everyone a very blessed and prosperous new year. Thank you also to you and your loved ones. Once again, in a few hours, Happy New Year to everybody, wherever you are in the world. It's 10:13 in India. It's 5:43 here in Germany. We still have more than 6 hours. You just little less than 2 hours away from the new year. Yes, I agree. The point of view regarding league rights, I think FSDL deal is right, but we don't want 15, 20 years type system. We want at least 68 model for sustainable, reliable ISL to I League. I don't know what model. I mean, are you saying 68 or 6 to 8 year? Hypermaster, at the moment, given the realities, it's very, very difficult. In my opinion, it's very, very difficult to find the right model, you know, and so therefore that's the thing. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see how we get out of this. Won't be surprised if they name it AFF Super League, different name with Super Cup vibes. Augusto, you never know. I hope not, but let's see. I just got to know that my favorite Australian sports outlet, Footy Industry, covered the CFG pulling out of Mumbai City FC in depth. Actually, global meme material, just most of us don't realize. G9I, we've been meme material over the last 3 weeks since Lionel Messi's visit. We've been meme, and this CFG thing has been going on in the media for the last 6, 7 days. So in India you don't get it. There's been more coverage internationally of the CFG pullout than in India, right? So yeah, sad reality. Arata just became coach of Inter Escaldes. Yes, Inter Escaldes, owned by the guys behind Intakashi. Yes, he is, and wish him all the best. It's a big step for him. It's a big step and a good step for him. Let's see if what he can do in Andorra. Happy New Year, sir, to you and your family. Thank you, Rudro. Happy New Year also to you and your family and your loved ones. And that's why all the best. Can't we have a foreigner who has worked in foreign federations and a good record there as a AFF president? No, Ayush. The way that these things are structured, you have to be part of the AFF system to be elected into these key positions. So from that standpoint, yes. TMC should use the pathetic situation of Indian football under Kalyan Chaubey as an electoral issue. Avi, I don't know. If it can be used, I don't know. And then, then the other side might use the messy mess. I don't know if it works or not, but I don't see that being a big political winning topic. Let's call it that. Sorry. Oops. Where are we? Aaron, sir, sorry, I can't stay long, but wish you and your family a blessed opportunity. Thank you, Dwelzian. Thank you. Thanks to you again, not only to you, everyone. My best wishes, not only to you, but all, you know, and yeah, I think you and I and we all are hoping for a better 2026 for Indian football. Even if they come to the conclusion that it's impossible to conduct the season this year and rather focus on its future, I would have felt a little better. Shivam, yes, but it won't work, you know, and you know, it is um, the problem is who's gonna make that call? Who's gonna realize, we need to have a conversation about how we're gonna take this forward. Dada, do you think the fundamental model of pan-Indian National League is unsustainable? India is such a massive country with even more diversity. No, Akash. If you take the right steps, if you grow the league in a proper way, and again, that's why I have said and I stick to it that I think that we need to think about maybe a 10-team closed league for 3 to 5 years and then think about growing because we need to get the commercial model right. That's a big problem, and therefore for me, um, I would say. mm, so therefore I think it is. This is again is our regional, our local league sustainable in India? That would be my counter question, right? So therefore, that's it. Wait, Arman, thanks for the 100 rupees, and all the best to you, sir. I did RTI to Sports Minister. How much money spent on Indian football development, construction, renovation? They refused to answer my question. Wow, that's sad on one side, but not surprising. I don't know. They must have said, okay, let's might have directed you somewhere else to not give you a direct answer because yeah, they're not supporting Indian football, right? They're doing the bare minimum that they should need to do, and even that is enforced on them, I feel. So that's sadly the reality at the moment, where we stand. And yeah, what to say? Thanks for the 100 rupees. There are talks in the world regards FIFA next World Cup 2030 for maybe 38 extend teams, not 48 to 64. Have a master, there are no talks. It was a suggestion by certain people. There are no talks in the world. At the moment, let next year's World Cup happen with 48 teams. The 64 one was a suggestion by certain people. I don't think that's a conversation happening. People are comparing Premier League, La Liga with ISL. What ideas can work in here from these leagues? Raj, a national level league. That's the biggest thing that you have, and that you need a structure for growth. It will not blindly happen. That is, I think, very, very important. And yeah, so therefore, for me, um, most important things to see how these leagues have grown over decades, not over years. Part of AIFF system, yeah, I don't have any hope other than survival even after elections. Let's wait and see. Sir, I'm 16 years old now without academy. Should I play or focus on my studies? Uh, um, Haryash, always a very difficult answer because I don't know what level of football you have played or are playing or where are you. I would always say if you can play football, but also focus on your studies. If you can do both, you know. So yeah. By the way, who are those people that advise sports ministry to make Kalyan as federation president? Akash, it wasn't the sports ministry's call, so I don't know who supposedly advised them on that. Cornwall was Southern recent to host World Cup in 34th season. Literally worried for years FIFA want us to come, but we planning in preparation. Master, we are not. Can please do not connect India to the FIFA World Cup, right? So therefore, these are some ideas that have been thrown out. I don't know that the Saudis. I know that CONMEBOL has mentioned it. So in 800 years and make it 64. It's like having 6 nations hosting the tournament at the start. But again, there is no move within FIFA that I know of at the moment. Again, things might change, but at this moment, as we speak, on the last day of 2025, there is no move for a 64 team World Cup. Sportsmanship is just another joke, says Raj. FSL needs to come back on board, otherwise this league is not going to start. Augusto, given the current circumstances, I don't know how they can come back. Given the current circumstances, given also the current decision makers within the federation, right? To me, that is going to be one of the questions that need to be asked. Is this, in the current format, in the current form, in the current constellation, I do not see FSDL in any shape or form coming back to the AIFF. So the question is, again, if there is a new AIFF, yeah, there might be change. But in this current constellation of people, I don't see them coming back. I would be, at least I would be surprised if you ask me. So therefore, that is the question. How, and the bigger question is, are Reliance Industries at all interested to come back? This is a question nobody's asking, right? There's all this, oh, FSTL is doing this, FSTL is doing that, and oh, FSTL is instigating this and that, all these conspiracy guys. It's like, FSTL has not done anything. Where is FSTL? Right? So, so therefore, yeah, that's the challenge. So what's the best model that can sustainable, reliable? Hypermaster, we need to, again, this is not an easy question. I throw you a system and then that will work. It needs to be, you need to get the best heads together in a room to talk about it, to discuss this, to go back, to work on ideas and plans, and then evolve a plan. Sustainability will not come in the short term, right? So yeah, this is and reliable. Listen, we had a reliable model. In the last 11 years, we had a reliable model, yes, but it was losing money, right? People need to understand that whatever happened over the last 11 years, that we were never discussing if the ISL would be held or not. Even during COVID, FSDL ensured that the ISL happened twice in a bubble league, right? Reality. And the AIFF of the time, under Shunando Dhor, the I-League team, also successfully held twice a bubble league. Right? With all their shortcomings and shortfalls, they did that. So those are some of the things. Sustainable league is a big ask because the next few years we will have to lose money to get this league somewhere. Right? And that is the challenge. Then I believe we need a new model for Indian football pyramid, including a top-tier national league. The focus must be on sustainability, not on glamour. Akash, I don't agree. Because you know what your problem is? If you want tomorrow to create a sustainable league, it will not happen. Right? Because if you want a sustainable league, you will have to cut costs at all ends, and then there is nothing left. What would be a sustainable potential model for Indian football? What are you spending? Right? Am I going to pay players then 10,000 rupees a month instead of a crore? So, and we need glamour. If you like, the start of the ISL, again, and I say this because I was involved in the first season of the ISL. The glamour factor got us eyeballs, numbers, sponsors, a lot of things in season one. All of that wouldn't have happened without the glamour factor. So for that, you have to spend, right? India is willing to spend on glamour. If the Messi tour has showed you something, they don't want to spend money on XYZ player, foreigner coming playing, quality Spaniards, quality Brazilians, Argentinians, English, French, German, whatever you want to call it. It is easier to most probably raise 1,000 crores than raising 50 crores. That's that's most probably the reality of India. But for that, do we have people who have, uh, so then that's the thing. People who were criticizing FSL are now demanding FSL to step in when they were on board. These people thought after FSL contract over, well, thousands waiting to invest. Yeah, Raj. Failed bubble, no? We failed to appreciate FSL enough. Yeah, Deepak, very, very right. Right? Suddenly the I-League clubs are silent, not dragging federation to Supreme Court. Because Akash, some of these bigger I-League teams are thinking, you know what, maybe they will come around to us and we'll create a league, something, whatever, together, and we'll become top tier. There are some very weird characters in there as well, in this whole system. You need money to run league, not hype. We fans just hype anyone. Raj, you need also hype. You need the media, you need social media, you need all of those things, right? Because without those, um, that's also very difficult. So for me, um, uh, you know, so for me, we need a combination of all these factors. Hi Harish, I'm a cricket fan, but after watching your videos, I support Indian football, love from Punjab. Harish, thanks a lot. Very happy. I always am very happy to hear these kind of things that listen, that you are supporting Indian football, because Indian football supports everybody is needed, right? Everyone's support is needed for Indian football, and that's, if you support Indian football, great. I always say, um, very very good. Sorry. There. After sharing minimal details about costs, logistics, international slots, therefore wants immediate confirmation from clubs exacting unprofessional keeps sports lawyers busier than sports person. Where do you see even minimal details about things? I mean, international slots, nothing is confirmed. Where are the logistics, right? And about costs, I don't know what the costs are. So Gina and I, none of these things are confirmed in any form or way, right? These are things that you and I, and we are hoping, okay, this will cover, that might be covered. None of it is being, so for me, the FF wants to get a result out of the clubs and say, hey, listen, confirm for the league, and the clubs don't even know what um, you know, this is just like a mystery box. You're buying a mystery box, not knowing what is going to happen. Yeah, we want short and long term both. And yes, ISL I leagues both was become bubble leagues, and that bubbles are blast. Oh my god, what scenario we see mess. Yeah, Hypermaster, but that was, I didn't need to come to this, you know. Atletico Madrid pulled out at very crucial time. It was prime ISL. Raj, no. I'd say you something. The 2016, I think, was one of the turning points where everyone realized is like the high spending you had in the first three seasons of the ISL, not sustainable. And the league was expanding. And Atletico was asked, okay, 2017, you'll have to put money in. And Atletico then asked, where is the sustainable model? There wasn't a sustainable model. And that's why they pulled out. The same reason that City Football Group has now pulled out. Show me a sustainable model and I stay. But, uh, you know, uh, you know, so therefore, reality. Don't you think football doesn't prosper in our country because of the mindset of our citizens? I mean, they can't stand the sight of their team losing match. They will watch only if we win. Deepak, that's one of the problems, right? Surely the problem is not just the national team. Look at club fans who don't support their clubs if they lose. Yeah, it's a psyche problem, right? It's a lot of things are not going right in India, and these are valuable issues and problems. I still remember the new article from Annabazar Patrika after the opening match of the ISM 2014. They reported on 300 million TV viewership, even Spanish media report. Akash, everyone was reporting. I mean, I was part of the first match with Mumbai City FC. Sadly, we lost 3-0 against Atletico de Kolkata. Everyone reported. I remember I gave a statement that was it BBC that on that opening match. Sky Sports reported it. Here in Germany, there were reports. In Italy, were reports. In America, there were reports around the world, right? And again, if you look at how many people were interested, it showed the potential, but it needed most probably more investments, right? Out of context, but one thing I don't get is people will give 100K plus views on any of these European fans like Wasa Macaroni make not watch purely dedicated channels like yours, Harry Musa. Ayush, I don't know. Again, I do my stuff. I have my style. If people want to listen to it, I'm more than happy. I'm grateful to people coming to the channel and watching Arun Foot. Liking stuff, sharing stuff, subscribing to the channel, watching my short videos. I've stayed dedicated even with sometimes limited time. Even when I've been traveling, I've tried to do my videos. I'm trying to do my part, right? To speak, talk, discuss with you guys in your football, right? Um, yeah, pass on my knowledge. Uh, so therefore, I thank you, all of those who are watching now live, or maybe those of you watch it afterwards, that you support the channel, you come and watch, spread it, watch it, watch older videos. I mean, there are a lot of these interesting videos which can be watched, and some of the and sadly, I was thinking, uh, you know, so yeah, 25 was the most embarrassing year for Indian football so far. Before 20 becomes even more embarrassing. Let's wait and see. We don't know, right? So off topic, the football stadium we built in Shillong is a great initiative, but after spending thousands of crores, there are logistic issues. Yeah, there will be issues. Raj, let it be built, right? The stadium is far from finished. My general question comes: what type of measure effort that what to make league a match level like Premier League, La Liga type? Hypermaster, we will not be on that level. Even Saudi Pro League, MLS is not of that level, right? It is how you are able to package, market your league, um, and therefore for me, that's always the question. It's not a question of, okay, can we do it like that, like that? We are far away from La Liga and Premier League. Akash has an answer to Ayush says, because for overwhelming majority of Indian footy fans supporting Indian clubs is to middle class, especially for urban aspirational guys. Yeah, the middle class has moved away from Indian football quite a bit. That's also a fact. Yeah, it was a glamorous league more because of Ambani's Bollywood big names. Of course, Raj. Right. It was. Hey, listen, I had interest in Mumbai City because we had Ranbir Kapoor. RK was a pull factor, right? Sachin was a pull factor for the Blasters. Virat Kohli for FC Goa, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Abhishek Bachchan for Chennai. And so all these clubs had their different guys who John, of course, Northeast, right? So yeah, so that's a reality, right? So and this is what sells. Again, if we like it or not, that's what sells in India, right? Saurav Ganguly attached to the Kolkata at the time. So these are things. If we like it or not, as I've said this again and again, we need the glamour, the glitz, the razzmatazz. So that's the thing. Even in Kolkata region, upper class people don't support East Bengal more. They support Real Madrid, Barcelona, United. Yeah, yeah. Not only the upper class, Akash, I think even the upper middle class nowadays doesn't bother because they say, oh, you know what, the mob, they would say in Europe, they would say the mob watches that level of Indian football, right? Some of them will, a lot of these people turned up at the Salt Lake Stadium for the Messi thing, paying 10,000, 15,000 for a ticket. It's just insane to think about it, right? So therefore, these are realities. If I like it, you like it, we like it, realities of things and brutal realities of Indian football in this day and age, sadly, as it persists and exists, right? So not easy at all. Appala, where am I? Premier League, La Liga didn't succeed in few years. Raj, no, they didn't. But they've forget those. Those comparisons to me don't work. Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga. Even though the Premier League is only a 30-plus year league, but the football league in England is over 100 years old. La Liga, you know, um, decades old. Bundesliga, 1963, right? So these are all leagues and entities who have had their cycles. Even Japan, early 90s start. MLS, early 94 kickoff. Those leagues are way ahead of us. Think about 1996, the NFL started, right? As a so-called semi-professional league. The I League became pro in 2007. Didn't work. And 2014, the ISL started. So the ISL is, with its 11 seasons, actually factually a young league, if I take it that way. So therefore, these comparisons don't work. Ayush says, guys in my college who rarely watch football on TV because timing issue, but their Insta feed will be full of football. Ayush, again, today's world with Instagram and other things, you know, and let's see. Reports indicate major stakeholder after City for few more big corporate investors pull out if ISL doesn't happen. If I League becomes top flight, a massive corporate withdrawal is looming. Gina and that's not news. That's a given fact, right? If the ISL doesn't happen, if the ISL ceases to exist, most of the franchisees or clubs might not cease to exist, and yeah. So even East Bengal Mohun Bagana could be facing danger, right? Because then Mr. Goenka might say, you know what, thank you very much, Tata bye bye, I'm gone, right? That's a real danger. Yes, we are more far away than La Liga if we accept Hashim. Yeah, Master, we were never close to those leagues. If anyone says we were close to the leagues in Spain or elsewhere, sorry, that's not reality. We're very, very far away from those leagues in Spain. Do you think it would have been better if promotion wasn't introduced in Iceland, a small closed league, trying out different models to find a sustainable model? Ooh, that's an interesting question. I go back to 16, 17, 18 when we were having discussions in regard to the FIFA AFC roadmap. There was a thought process of keeping it shut. But again, the ISL introduced Bangalore FC and Jamshedpur FC. That changed the structure of the league in the sense of making it 10. Then there was discussion, what do we do? I-League, ISL. It was a financial decision in the end, which then allowed Mohun Bagan to merge with Atletico or ATK and become ATK Mohun Bagan, and East Bengal coming in. Have promotions helped? There are two sides to the story. Punjab FC promotion has been good for the ISL, but again, they've got proper funding at Round Glass through Sunny. Again, out of own experience as I've worked for him. Mohammedan Sporting didn't have the funding. That's why Mohammedan Sporting is in a mess. So then the point is, it was political pressure to keep Mohammedan Sporting in the league. I think if FSDL was allowed to take a football sporting decision, Mohammedan Sporting's promotion most probably would have been denied. So that's the other problem. What's the political influence on these things in an Indian context? So why North Korea dictatorship country is better ranking than India? Arish, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Sorry. Why? But it is the way it is, right? Yeah, in Kolkata, you will get to hear East Bengal matches are watched by lower class. I don't to say the exact words. Raj, that's a reality. Friends of mine, when I interact with people and they know that I work in football, they ask me, oh, why do you try and do football in India and all that stuff? But you go to Salt Lake Stadium, you go to a derby. People say, oh, it's dangerous, this, that, everything. So there's also perceptions, right? Um, the question now is, because you need, in a Kolkata, if you want to attract people, you want a full stadium on one side, but you want to attract people also with money into the stadium. How do you do that? That's the, let's see. That's going to be Again, I know that's a big question down the road, but that's a question that needs to be looked at. How's the move of Fabio Moreno fell from sixth tier? Fabio Moreno fell, yeah, from sixth tier to Bundesliga. Football is beautiful. Right? Renal happens, right? I mean, he didn't come to Mainz to the Bundesliga. He joined Mainz reserve team, Mainz B, played well, got to train with the first team. The coach liked him, gave him a chance, and then boom, you're in. You have to be lucky in life sometimes. I think how you market is more important because La Liga has better football quality, plus their camera work is just out of the world, but EPL is still more watched and earns to their marketing. Ayush, yeah, but the point is also that in the 80s, the Premier League started to market itself abroad. La Liga or the Bundesliga were not even thinking of it, right? I would say that the quality, football quality in the Bundesliga is better than the Premier League. It's different, right? You know, and yeah, so yeah. So to me, yeah, you have a point. Little late to join today. Hi, say hi, Apex. Welcome back. The last few hours. It's 10:42 in India, 6:12 in Germany. So a little over an hour for you guys to go, for you to welcome the new year, and for me, a little under 6 hours. So yeah, last conversation of 2025 on Indian football. Can AIFF now make I-League the top tier once again rather than new top tier league? Theoretically, Raj, yeah, why not? Right. So that's a reality at the moment, right? So therefore, for me, the question is, how can you change that? Do you want to keep the ISL? Do you want to keep the ISL? Do you want to create something new? Do you want to? There are a lot of questions, and I don't see a straight cut answer to that at the moment. Vamos Argentina for 2026 says Apex. Well, let's see. You say Vamos Argentina. I say, yeah, all the best to Germany. Let's wait and see what happens next year at the World Cup. Why aren't clubs sustainable in India? PC Gamer Tag, let's talk about what's this sustainability. Now, sustainability means that you financially, if you're putting in a rupee, you get that rupee back. Ideally, you're even making a little bit on top of that, which either you can take out as a profit or can reinvest into the system. So it's up to you to decide, do I do this? Do I do that? How do I do it? Why do I do it? So therefore, the sustainability angle is a very difficult one. And because Indian clubs spend too much. Because also, we've discussed this multiple times on this channel at least, we have a limited players pool, and therefore the prices have gone through the roof. So that's the thing. Costings generally in India and certain things are very, very high because you also don't own your own infrastructure or nothing. So you're paying to use training facilities, stadiums, and everything. And again, transport, travel, accommodation is not cheap in India as well these days. Minerva Academy to do more international exposure, U17, U19, 2023, at least 48 people about how to find sponsor funding. Yeah, that's for them to figure out. The Premier was marketed as a game of elite class. In India, maybe, but I don't think it was marketed as elite class. It might have come across as elite class because it was, in the past, it used to be only covered in English, but I don't think it was specifically marketed as an elite class. It was marketed as an elite product. My college mates don't give a damn about Indian football. All they care is supporting their favorite EPL clubs. Don't know why I'm supporting Indian footy for the last 6 years, even after so much humiliation. Gina and I, then again, ask the same question. I would jokingly say that ask the same question to a Man United fan. Why are you still supporting Man United? Some of the people who are supporting Man United have never seen Man United lift the Premier League. You could have said this pre-Klopp also to a Liverpool fan. Why are you supporting Liverpool Football Club? They didn't win they didn't win anything big. Yeah, they did win the Champions League here and there, but they didn't win the Premier League, right? Football is about success, football is about failure, you know? So to me, that's the thing. And Indian football is not something which you, it's something far away which you should support. Support the national team. It's your team. Argentina isn't your team. England isn't your team. Brazil is not your team. You can support them, but that is not your team. That is not your nation. And this is something which, again, which I always say that people of origin are more attached to India in a way and support India more because that link is created. I think league is not happening this season. Mank, I've said this for the last 2.5, 3 months. 1% chance. I'm not saying zero. I'm always saying 1%. We never know in Indian context, there might be something happening. But nothing has changed. I do not see that anything in the last few days and weeks has changed that we are in a situation that the league is going to happen. Very simple, right? You know, so, you know, so that's the thing. I see this as political agenda of the government. Mank, again, you can put that out. I don't know if that's true or not, so I can't comment on it. I-League was with AIFF. We have to ask them, why aren't you starting I-League? Raj, the answer is simple. The league is not starting because the ISL was cross-funding the rest of the pyramid of Indian football. Simple. If there is no, again, the AIFF put out an I-League tender for 6 crores, right? Nobody came forward. Right. So these are realities of things, right? These are massive failures of the ecosystem, and nothing is per se has happened, right? So this is, I find it bizarre to say the least of where we stand at this moment, that this question again, and this is what the I League clubs didn't realize themselves. They were not independent of what's happening in the AFF. They are part of this whole thing. So do you think that in the current situation, as ISL is not happening, promoting I League again as the top tier league is a good idea? No. The question also is, the AFF can't just do that, right? Because then you have to kill the ISL as a league. You have to, what do you do with the clubs, right? And you have to then also speak with FIFA and AFC, right? Forget government or Supreme Court. You have to speak to them. Um, so, and to me, it doesn't make sense. If you make the I League the top league in the current situation, and to generate money for the I League is even more difficult than for the ISL, because the ISL clubs are willing to put in more money. Don't forget that. I don't know where the road will be. In next collab discussion, I want you to with Curious Harry, Playmaker India, Subi Rawat, Drogbaba, Ajay Menon, Bol Dada Bol, G7 Summit of Indian Football. We to create a discussion, amazing to see. Hypermaster, let's see. Again, for me, sometimes it's very difficult. I sometimes ask these guys short notice if they want to join or not. So yeah, well, surely things. I want to do things. Let's see who I can do collabs with. I don't think it's political agenda, Raj. As I said, I don't know if it is or not. PC Gamer Tech says to Gene and I witnessed Man United being absolute bosses of the Premier League and now struggling for the past 10 years, but haven't stopped supporting them. Yeah. This is, you say 10, I would say 12 plus, right? Again, and this is what you're not willing to do for an Indian team or for the national team. Again, if you LFC fan, United fan, you're willing to do that. So that's to me the problem. Has AFF really threatened clubs for relegation if they do not participate? Hannibal, I've heard it, I've read it, but I haven't had a confirmation that has been said. I-League clubs were chilling until they realized it's too late. Yeah, Raj, very well analyzed and summarized. That's the reality of things. They thought this ISL mess doesn't affect us. I told a few people, say, no, AFF is going to do. We are not a problem. Hamara league hoga. I remember someone said, yeah. So and uh, nothing has happened, right? Because um, the problem is that a lot of people still don't want to recognize and realize that the AFF, without the money of FSDL, is not in a position to run Indian football, right? The ISL money or the FSDL money, which was coming in, which was mainly for the ISL, was cross subsidizing everything else in the pyramid, in the system, right? So that's the problem. See, sir, I mean, ISL was done by Professor Patel. Now Kalyan wants to make a mark as president. He can do something, but he's failing. Mayank, ISL was not done by Professor Patel. Who's telling you that? Professor Patel got, um, you know, Reliance in 2010 to replace Z because Z didn't want to continue and Z wasn't paying money on time because Z had problems post the ICL cricket fiasco following the entry of IPL, right? And the question was they wanted to turn the I League into the ISL, but the clubs didn't want it. So let's go back to see the problem is most people who are part of these conversations today don't know what happened in 2011, 12, or 13. So those I say either you know your stuff or you don't. 90% of people who are having discussions about these things don't know what happened in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which led to the formation of the ISL, right? FIFA AFC will smash you if you frequently change your top tier league. Well, they won't smash you, but it won't work. For months, we are not able to see any kind of future where we have to go, what path we have to take, etc. etc. Honeywell, very valid point. Very valid point that you are raising. Yes, you know, and I have warned. You've been part of those conversations. You've listened to those. Um, but at the moment, I don't know. So let's wait and see. So the next presidential election of AIFF happen when? Hannibal, if it goes to plan, latest by September next year, there should be AIFF elections, right? So that is what at least I know at this moment in time. But let's wait and see. Are you going to USA for World Cup? Mike, at the moment, undecided. At the moment, rather not. Let's wait and see if it's work related, I might, Um, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Can they legally relegate clubs? However, that's a good question. I don't think so. If you ask me that way, I would think that they cannot relegate clubs like that. Then they have to shut the league and, sort of kill the league. Question is, if you're going to kill the league, how is that going to happen? So, very interesting. Is there anyone other than the guys who are in the cooling period capable of taking in football out of the situation? Yeah. I think there are people, but I don't think they will come forward. Let's put it this way. Future of Santos Trophy in department football. Departmental football, weren't the AFF supposed to start departmental league in the last year or two? I haven't heard anything about that. Santos Trophy will stay. Santos Trophy's relevance it's there, right? It's a bonus for the state associations, so to say, but nothing. So if you're a supporter of Premier League club, you're considered cool. But if I say I'm Mumbai City FC fan, my own mates indirectly sideline me. Raj, and this shows you ignorance. And this shows me a lack of culture of football, right? That you support Mumbai City, I respect you more for that, right? I don't respect someone who says, hey, listen, I support Man United, I support Arsenal. I'm a Barca fan, I'm a Real fan, whatever. So what? Right? So, yeah. Players should also take responsibility. The situation would be much better if they perform in qualifiers for World Cup, Asian Cup. No. Obvi. Their situation is not linked to our performances in the of the national team. That is an own problem of its own epic proportions. Thank you, Igor, much for that. you know, and you know, so yeah. Sir, in 2010, I was in school, so no idea. Mayank, I'm not calling you out. I'm calling out a lot of people who are commenting and saying and talking about things without knowing the facts. Right? To me, um, so therefore, for me, again, this is a lot of people without knowing things. Again, I'm lucky because, again, I started in 1998, so I do know what happened since the mid 90s. And a lot of things, is the big question, right? So, um, and, that's the thing. The image of ISL is not good for general public. It's a SE league. Raj, yeah, but does the I League 2, I League 3 at all have a standing? Right? That's also a reality of Indian football. You say you have some names who are capable of AIFF top leadership positions. If they come to top positions, AIFF, will they able to fix the things which are now in shambles? Potentially, yes. Right? If you ask me, Hannibal, that way, I think yes. Will they be able to do it? That's a different discussion because I don't know how, if and how they can run the system. So that's the thing. There are capable people in the system. Not everybody is bad, but the right people coming in, running, and trying to build, very difficult. Answered this. Supporting Indian football nationally since the 2017 Intercontinental Cup. Great. Apex. This is how you start. AFF, FSDL clubs, investors need to, again, at one table, ignore their ego, forget them, do come on cooperation, coordination with solution. Hypermaster FSDL is out of the picture. Again, you mentioning FSDL makes no sense. FSDL at the moment, Reliance is out. They've been out. They have wound down the thing, right? And now it is for that to to see how we can get out of this. Right? People calling on FSDL to come back is nice, but FSDL opted out at the time. You know, so are there any chances of Reliance coming back? Hannibal, yeah, theoretically, yes. Is this going to happen? I don't know. Again, nobody knows. All these people saying, oh, a league will happen for sure, have no clue. Oh, Reliance, FSW will come back. No clue. All these people are selling fake hope. Let's call it what is it? It's fake hope. Because at the moment, nobody can tell you if XYZ will happen or not. We are in a situation which is very, 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 very tricky. Right. So that's the reality. But people, are they willing to recognize those things? I don't know. What happened to NFL, National Football League? Apex, it turned into the I League in 2007. Tell the story about how Man is able to get Messi to Jamnagar, Gujarat. Anibal, I know how it happened, but again, I think it's a private story got from someone. That's why I'm not going to talk about it. I support India in everywhere, team jersey, India, every sector, basketball, baseball, cricket, football, hockey, rugby, etc. everywhere. Great. Apamas, that's the way it should be. Good evening, Dark Knight. Welcome back. The misinformation among people is at another level. Yeah, Raj, I think that's the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem. Forget Indian football. I think the biggest problem of today's world is that wrong information, misinformation is so widespread that the real facts are not shared, that we don't know, what is right. I always say you cannot know what is right or wrong. And that to me is a big problem. Big problem in today's world, because if you and I don't know what is right or what is wrong, how how can you know what you need to know? And that is the problem in everything in today's world, sadly, but that's the reality. AFF expecting the clubs to reply by Jan 1st, but clubs want a commercial partner. I don't think we'll have any league this season. PC Gamer Tag, the likelihood of a league this season was always very minimal. you know the news is they are ready to circulate a new tender again now. Tender federation, Utkarsh, we're not in a tendering phase. Again, the news. You're saying the news. Who's saying this? There are people being spreading information without knowledge or being fed information. I am telling you again and again, question the information that is being put out. Because a lot of people will sell you information with their knowledge where they don't know what the information is. You know, should be grateful to the ISL club owners for not shutting down already. Pretty sure it was happened to the big league. At least two, three clubs would have gone shut shop. I don't think anywhere in the world, if you would have a league problem like we have at this moment, that clubs would have shut shop. That's a different thing. But yes, I agree with you that we haven't heard is XYZ has shut, because the problem is this is the domino effect. You know, so uh, if you know a club shut shop, then XYZ would have done the same thing. So that's a very dangerous thing, right? City Football Group pulling out of Mumbai City. All the big investors are thinking, should we stay or should we go? That's the reality. Started watching football because of CR7, and first jersey was of Inter Milan at the time. No idea which club it was. Okay, Mayank. When they won Champions League, which was 2010 against Bayern, sadly. Yeah, remember that. I still can't believe a person who said he will build striker by 2 months crash course is the president of AIFF and still continuing. Why? What is my year one? I have nothing else to add. Gina and I, yeah. Do you think Indian football 2026 can do that? Shanto, do what? Turn it around? You know? Said, you know how Molina was brought back as he was Spain football sporting director? Money, Raj. Very simple. That's the easy thing. All the plans about two venues ISL with this or that, etc., etc. Where's the money coming from to even move things? Animal, that's the question I've asked, right? And the problem is ideas are nice. Everyone here can have an idea and say, listen, let's do it this way, let's do it that way. Okay, we can have ideas, place it into public domain. Someone has to fund that. That is my concern. Who is going to fund this, right? And that's the point. The commercial partner is in this whole conversation the most important thing of everything. If we don't have a commercial partner in Indian football, nothing can happen. Reality. At the moment, we are having a discussion where we're not going anywhere, right? Where if the money is not there, then we are saying, oh, you know what, the clubs need to spend on it. Interesting. Now we're talking that the clubs have to spend on it, right? So therefore, this is very, very, very tricky. But and yeah, because is it a two venue thing, home and away? You know, that's a crazy one, right? So I don't know. Very, very crazy. Very, very crazy at the moment, the way the things are. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And that's the reality of things. got disconnected. Yeah, so money is the main thing. Multiple big, powerful people in cricket administration. Why not in football? Don't see it as important enough, right? That's most probably. Jai Hind, Ishan. Sir, problem like this ever happen in other country? Dark Knight, I don't really know if the problem that we have in Indian football of this magnitude is that there are problems in federations. We've had in tons of federations around the world, I would say. But do we have a problem like in the AIFF? I would not. Honestly, I wouldn't know if there has been the problem like that. You know, so I don't understand East Bengal fans. They're behaving like we were in La La Land before FSL came on board. I don't. It is a problem with certain fan groups. If you criticize their club, if you criticize the entity behind them, then they will, you know, not support you and whatever. It's a problem. It's a problem to 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 a lot of entities. I see, and fan groups. Again, look at Mohun Bagan fans having defended last year at least. Mohun Bagan not traveling to Iran. Now it's a little bit different, but last year they did, right? So therefore, that's very very important. Right, more than 1 hour and 20 minutes. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe. 24 likes so far on this video. Thank you very much. Share with other people to potentially join in still in our discussion. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, then you can ask your questions, post your views, and be part of our conversations. 3,631 is the current number. So we're growing so slowly. And as I always like to say, yeah, watch the short videos. I did something looking back in 2025 was my video today. Tomorrow, I look forward to 2026. And therefore, yeah, it is going to be very, very important. So thanks a lot for your support as always. Oops, Salah, where do you think these players should go outside and play rather wasting time? Mayak, who's going to take them? I mean, again, it's a nice idea to say, hey, go abroad, play. Okay, brilliant. Who is going to take the players? Is there anyone anywhere in the world waiting for Indian footballers to come and play? Right? So there isn't, right? And or they go to a level where they're not going to be paid well. So these are things, and yeah. So let's wait and see what happens. So a few people who I know went to watch IWL match of East Bengal at Kalani Stadium the way it's happening and the state of Kalani. I can't describe. You will not find a single poster of IWL. Raj, it's happening for the sake of happening, right? I mean, we've talked about it. Sadly, we are, and so therefore for me, that's something. Yeah, to me is always very important. But I don't know when and where we can work and what will happen. Um, you know. So therefore, for me, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem where we stand at this moment in time. As I talk to you, is where in Indian football are we? Are we on the right track? Are we not on the right track? Um, Again, Indian football at the moment is so off track from where it needs to be. Again, in the men's game, we are even worse off than the women's. The women's will say, oh, someone earlier said, right, that if we did better in the World Cup qualifiers, in the Asian Cup qualifiers, things would be better. No, we're not. Look at the women's teams. All teams have qualified for the first time ever. For the first time ever in the history of Indian football, all the women's teams have qualified for the AFC Asian Cups. Senior team, under 20s, under 17s, boom, all of them have done that. On the other side, has there any money come in? Any money coming towards the AIFF to support this? No, nothing. So that's also reality. And that's the sad part. The IWL is happening like any kind of tournament for the sake of happening. It should be a proper league, right? And the AIFF can't make it. Random real watching guys expect Indians to suddenly start moving like Holland or an Mbappe, and only then they will watch Indian football or support the national team. Hannibal, I've heard that at Madrid. I remember tweeted around the World Cup final, guys, I would love Indian football fans to support Indian football like they support Brazil or Argentina. Oh, first of all, I got a lot of hate for that because, Indian football is bad, this, that, everything. And then the other part was it about where are we, how are we, and this and that and everything. And then I realized it's yeah, it's not even working, right? So for me, it's a major problem for us, um looking at the realities of things, and um yeah, welcome to the world of Indian football. Happy New Year, Mukul, to you as well and everybody else. My best wishes for 2026, not only to you, to all of us, to your families, to your friends, to your close ones, but also for us supporting, loving Indian football fans. Very important. I think 2026, hopefully in some sort of form way, will be better, but yeah, it's a tough call at the moment. Feeling bad for Ryan leaving developed country and coming to India. Mayank, why? He came to India because of the salary, right? So at BFC, his salary is better than what he was getting in the A League. What you could be sad or bad about for Ryan is to say, you know what, you're willing to give up Australian citizenship to become an Indian. Uh, you know, um, that could be. But and then what I say, don't feel bad for him. Give him more credit. Give Ryan Williams even more credit for picking up Indian citizenship to play for India. Give him credit, you know, and that is what I think and say. Right? It is. That's why your laugh emoji. Sorry, Mayank, not fitting. Not fitting. Give the guy credit and let us all support Ryan whenever. Again, I've got him here in the picture. Whenever he's going to make his debut for India, hopefully in March, if he's fit and if we're still alive and Indian football is alive, that we support him in the biggest possible way. He deserves it. He deserves it. Please sometimes speak in Hindi also. Avi, my Hindi is not good enough, I always say, right? I mean, I did try in the uh, um, podcast with Rock Baba, but my Hindi is not good enough to speak, and therefore I prefer speaking in English, which is my preferred language, so to say. We don't love a team. We love big, successful names. Holland, Mbappe, Raj. 100% right. More than just, uh, you know, 100% right. Because I remember when I used to go to, not used to, even last year when I went to the German Football Academy in Kolkata, and interact with the kids, or even before. Again, before when I used to ask, oh, who do you like? Who's your favorite? They used to say either Messi or Ronaldo. Now it's changing. It's Holland, Mbappe, and some of the others are coming into the mix. Um, yeah, we like success, big names, right? That's why we like Sachin, we like Virat Kohli, we like Saurav Ganguly, right? I mean, as Indians, even, yeah, right? Or we talk about Neeraj Chopra. How many people actually follow javelin as a sport? I don't think many people follow javelin as a sport. So that's, yeah. We're going to F up the AFC Women's Asian Cup. That's a real disaster. Hannibal, I said, when did I first say it? I think 3-4 months ago. If we continue the way we are going, um, yeah, we're not getting anywhere, right? And you know, so therefore, for me, my biggest fear is for March. I would have again. I'm not counting it out. Maybe I'll try to head to Australia. But to me, the biggest problem at the moment is if I look at things, are our teams being prepared in the best possible way? None of them are, right? And my biggest fear remains for Australia, for the AFC Women's Asian Cup, the match against Japan. Japan is capable of thrashing us 20-0, right? So that's the point. They can. I hope not. But even on a bad day, they can thrash us 10-0, you know? So let's see. As Indian, yes, okay. Sorry, I can't read Hindi, Hypermaster. We feel bad the condition of Indian football administration chaos. Yeah, yeah. How many people know the name on which he was playing? When Neymar went to PSG, everyone became PSG. When he went to Al Hilal, suddenly they all came here. That's a mentality. What overnight success? Yeah, yeah. And Neymar is a good example. Sorry, Neymar is a good example. So, um, yeah, who's following Sao Paulo? So that's the thing. Women's did good, men's team did good, but preparing for Asian Cup is so disgusting. I must say, yeah, they did good, but again, it is the preparations are key, and that has not happened for both these teams. So therefore, it's in my opinion a huge, huge problem at the moment. What's in March? Pranjal, AFC Women's Asian Cup in April. AFC Women's Under 20 Asian Cup. So there's a lot to play in May. Then the Under 17 boys. A lot of football coming up. Diamond League javelin events not even streamed on YouTube. But Hannibal Raj says Diamond League's broadcast on Sony. Again, how many people are watching? On a serious note, I don't think it is being watched by that many people, and therefore then the conversation ends, right? The conversation is over before it's even started. That is our problem when we come to talk about XYZ sport. And that's difficult, right? That's very, very difficult given the realities of things, you know, and yeah, it is, yeah, it is where we are, right? There we go. This disaster is going to hamper our next FIFA World Cup qualifier cycle. Yeah, Dark Knight, it will. It will hurt us in the next 5-6 years in the Asian qualification process. And if, let's say, I don't know when, if the Nations League, let's say, started in 2027, it's going to hurt us as well. Right? So for us, it is, we have to rebuild. We have to restart, find our ground, realize where we stand, and then also, find how we're going to move in the right direction. It's very difficult for Indian football at this moment in time as I speak to you, but that's the only way. And as I say, at least the next cycle, we'll have to do much better. But if we don't do better in the next cycle, then the next two are not in a good shape. Anima says, no, they don't. It was before. Now I don't know. Okay, guys. Next FIFA World Cup qualifier cycle is closer than it appears. Yeah, Pranjal, it's and to me, it is something which as I say, it's the failures of the last 1.5 years are going to hurt us in the mid to long term, and that is the problem. Yeah, and that's the other problem. AFC Nations League, your views and opinions. Hypermaster, I did a separate video. I think, again, a reminder. That's why I say, look to if you don't think, I try and do something every day, do watch the timeline, right? Do look through the timeline. I try and discuss these topics. Yeah, watch it, right? So therefore, for me, when did I do it? 9 days ago, AFC Nations League set to come. Have a look at it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a very good idea from the AFC to have a Nations League. The question is, how will it impact football in the continent? Again, will it be like in Europe that it becomes an important tournament? Does it become something else? Again, that danger is there. We'll have to wait and see. But I think I like the idea. And the question is now, what happens to the qualification process for the AFC Asian Cup? and to the FIFA World Cup qualifier nation. So that's an interesting one, how that Nations League impact can or will be. And our people think upcoming generation is better than current. Oh, Raj, don't get me started on that one. I've said too much in 2025 about this. The hype around the under 23s, then the hype around the under 17s, and these players and that players. My simple question is, if these players were so good, so brilliant, why don't their club coaches give them a chance? Right? And the answer is very simple. Will I risk it for a young player, give him a chance, or will I take someone else who's rather experienced? Abhishek Thekcham is a very good example, right? If Shubhashish Bose is fit, he's Mohun Bagan captain, Abhishek Thekcham is not going to play much, right? If Alberto Rodriguez and Tom Alred are fit and the coach says, I want to play with two foreign centre backs, then a Mehtab Singh signed as a centre back becomes a right back, which pushes then out other players. So these are all realities, um, you know, and, you know, these are all realities. So just to give an example, good night, Raj. Happy New Year once more to you and the others again. As we are closing in, we are now in the last hour of the year in India. It is still over 5 hours to go here in Germany. It's 6:52 p.m. here in Germany. It's 11:22 p.m. in India. So, and if you are watching maybe further east from India, Happy New Year already to you guys. And let's see. Let's see what happens. And we need to start playing teams like Bhutan just to improve our rankings so we get second position in our World Cup group. Bhutan is not going to give us points, Pranjal, to move into the second position. You know, it makes no sense. Sorry, it makes no sense. If second position of World Cup group is at the moment out of the picture for us, we need then we need to beat teams who are potential second position teams in the World Cup group. So we are more closer to third, even fourth position in the group. We finished fourth. We are going to finish last in the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers in our group with Hong Kong, Singapore, and Bangladesh. Let it just simply sink in, right? So beating Bhutan is not getting us nowhere. Beating even Bangladesh would get us nowhere. It helps Bangladesh more than, Tete Amar as president, Mandar as general secretary, and Constant as head coach, and we will be moving like Chinese national team or Thailand national team. None of it is going to happen. Yeah. Hannibal. Sorry, I don't want to break hopes of you or anyone, but none of these guys are going to take up any of the positions that you are looking to them at the moment to take up. Sorry, sad reality of things. Right, quick reminder, 1 hour, 38 minutes. Like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot here on YouTube. 27 likes today. Thanks a lot. So far, we are at 3,632. So thank you. Welcome to the new subscriber to the channel. And yeah, as I say, watch the short videos. I did my look back at 2025, not the nicest of articles. Yeah. So therefore that's it. Our situation is so rough that we have totally forgot about Khalid Jami is still the head coach. Yeah, Hannibal. Yeah. I remember after the Singapore matches, there was already the first statements, oh, not working out. And then especially after Bangladesh, but the AIFF has done nothing. So for me, it is a question of who's going to take the call to make, again, look at the mess. The AIFF is not taking a call on these things. Whenever these guys are taking a decision, they're making matters worse. Because there is a lack of understanding of things to be able to take those decisions. That's what I have to say and call out. And that is the toughest at the moment if we see what is happening in the Indian football. Even the Indian football Twitter OGs are dead. Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Again, this is for me talking to you guys on a daily basis on my so-called off days. This is therapy. I'm not doing it for I'm doing it for myself. Because if I talk to people, and I've been talking to a lot of people over the last few days, you the brain would explode at some stage because things are so crazy, um, and unrealistic. Also, we are in a position where you think, how did we get here? Um, that's the sad part. So yeah, welcome. Maybe I should change it from Indian football discussion to Indian football therapy. Um, I don't know. It's very sad. It's very, very sad where we are. But what I've seen when Iran beat us in CAF, we lost a lot of points. We didn't lose points because of Iran. Who said that? If not, then who? Hannibal, I can only say that these guys are not happening. Who we will have to wait and see. Again, that's the difficult one. You know? So, but again, none of your favorites or candidates are going to take up their respective positions. The situation is like AIFF killed somebody and then they are not able to hide the dead body. They don't have the vision what to do, so they just threw the body in road. Oh, that's a brutal one. Huh? Threw the body on the road, maybe threw the body in the water, and it's floating in the water. I don't know. Yeah, they couldn't even hide the dead body, right? Um, and well, the problem is with the current AFF is they've maneuvered themselves into a very difficult, tricky position, and they can't get out of it. Right? That's the whole story of it. It's like, can you get out of this? Can you not get out of this? Um, but if you are in that position, can you be honest enough to yourself and say, guys, we are in a situation which we don't want to be in, but we are in. How do we get out of it? Right? And that is something I say accountability and introspection. There is no level of accountability and introspection. We we should have never gotten into the situation we are in. I warned 2.5 years ago, early July, around after we won the SAF, best time for the AIFF to extend contracts. Right? You know? So that is where we are. That is insane to think. I hope not someone worse than Kalyan. I don't think always possible, but I hope also not. Aryan says people who were cheering when FSDL went and are hoping for a cooperate funded league. Best of luck. Won't be long before they see the reality. I think Aryan, a lot of people are seeing the reality now, if they like it or not. We are in a very desperate scenario. Indian football is in a very desperate scenario where people are forced to realize like whatever you dreamt of, whatever you wanted, you're not getting it. Because the reality of Indian football at the moment as it stands is that this dream um, of what you want in an ideal world is not possible in the real world. And this is what I've always said. You have to live in reality. You cannot be somewhere and then think, it'll happen, right? To me, um, that's also right. Again, and it's the AFF is one, but even the clubs didn't realize and recognize where they would end up, where they are now, where they should have been, right? So yeah, worse than Steammatch happens. Everything is possible. Hannibal, it's not worse than Steammatch. Steammatch put us into the situation. I always say you are dependent on what someone left behind for you. The initial success of Evo or Steammatch is de facto the success of Stephen Constantine. The failure, especially of Manolo, is also the failure of Ego Steammatch. And Khalid has built on the failures of Steammatch and Manolo, and of course, he's in a position where I think he doesn't belong. Right? So these things then add up at some stage, right? That's the problem. I don't know what Kalyan was thinking rejecting FSDL proposal. Dark Knight at the time He was thinking someone or the other will turn up, right? Um, the problem is here at the end of the day is that there was a thinking someone or the other will turn up and someone or the other will bail us out, right? The reality hadn't sunk in, even now has not sunk in to say, you know what? Hmm, there is no one going to come and save us, right? That's the problem. Your problem is at the end of the day is if I'm thinking XYZ will turn up and save Indian football tomorrow, that's XYZ doesn't exist, right? That, you know, so yeah, that's the sad part. And you can reject the FSDL proposal, but then you negotiate at least, right? You say, hey, listen, guys, I don't like your offer. I want this, I want that, right? You said, oh, I want 50 crore. Everything else doesn't matter to me. Take what you want. That's not a negotiation, right? Which is also now not happening with the clubs, right? That's another problem. Raul Mehra and others versus AIFF is the main murder weapon found in the crime spot. Hannibal, it's one of the things, right? This whole AIFF constitution change and all that stuff, and we'll make things better and we'll get ex-athletes in has not helped Indian sports or Indian football. Ex-athletes are welcome, but they need to have an understanding of the sports. Being an ex-athlete doesn't mean you understand the running of sports. I know top level athletes, some of the best in their respective sports. They have no clue how sports runs. You know, you know. So that's the problem, right? Even if the tension was good, but it wasn't right. How can these people didn't realize that they were already getting an overvalued deal? Aryan, because they thought in 2022 when they came in, remember someone said, you know, oh, the value of 50 crores is not enough. We should be looking at 500 crores per year. Okay, nice. Then raise the money. You're not raising 1 rupee. This is the toughest job in the AFF is to raise money, right? Because who's going to give you money for what? Your biggest problem was always that, and nobody wanted to recognize and realize that. Nobody wanted to say, oh, you know what? Okay, my product is this, that, or whatever, and yeah, I'm going to get the value for something. So for me, yeah, these are things, these are realities, brutal realities of things. And as we are in the last half an hour of the year in India of 2025, Happy New Year, everyone. Best wishes, and that we have a better 2026. Because if this trajectory stays the way we are, I don't even know how I always say, not always. I've said this example here in the lives. There's a black hole, and we're going deeper, 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 deeper into that black hole. We're making it worse, 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 worse. But yeah, and if you go deeper into that black hole, to get out of that black hole is going to be tougher, right? So I don't know. Pranjal says, sometimes I feel I'm the bad luck of Indian football. Started following few months before Asian Cup mid 2023, and look what happened. Pranjal, it's not on you. Let me reassure you, it is not your fault, right? It's not your fault, it's not my fault, it's not our fault. It is the fault of the people running the AFF. Simple, right? And you add, forget administration. Best athletes can't even be good coaches sometimes. Yeah. Pranjal, yeah, very, very important point. Yeah. And the problem is you need to have expertise. If you don't, you won't get anywhere, right? Do you think AFC is going to react something or not about the 24 matches? Someone needs to reach out to the AFC and ask, guys, we have a problem, this and that. We're not going to fulfill. Again, you're not going to fulfill the 24 matches, right? But then you have on top of that the whole Mohun Bagan fiasco, which is an embarrassment that they didn't go to Iran in the last few years. Um, And then we have to talk about the rest. So for me, it is we need to rectify our own issues and mistakes at the moment. And I don't know if we are in a position to actually say sorry XYZ. We are in a very difficult position as Indian football, you know? So that's the thing. So, it's I don't know. Do you feel like people are intentionally sabotaging football? It makes no sense, but that's how it feels. Pranjal, I have that feeling sometimes as well, but I can't prove it. It sometimes feels that people have been planted to make these decisions, but then I realize no, it's just lack of knowledge, ignorance, you know, power hungry, power greedy, control freaks who don't know what they're doing. In India, that is the biggest problem. With the right leadership, we wouldn't be where we are today. But that right, where is that right leadership to take us in that right direction? We need more people like you to ask question. Pranjal says Dark Knight. Yeah. Yeah. So don't take it on you. Always support Indian football. Aryan says Kalyan Deep win a local panchayat election. Thought he would make a good president. Aryan, yeah, it's incompetence. Dark Knight sums it up for you. The problem is what what is his qualifications to be a president? He's an ex-footballer. He's from Bengal, and he's from the right party. And that's how he got in, right? Let's be honest about it. No one thought that he could take us to the levels that he's taken us. And the people who have been in management positions over the last 3 years need to question themselves as well, right? So for me, all these things are factors, you know, and that is something, you know, which makes it difficult because we are far away from going in the right direction, and that's the reality of things, right? And I just hate normal. Okay, 1164. Let me call you out that. Pranjal Bhai, corruption plus incompetence equating in football. Yeah, it is. Forget corruption. Even if there is corruption, it be because that's the world today. Sadly, I have to say that, right? I've given up my idealism to say, the world is not corrupt. My problem is, given the realities at the moment, is how are we getting out of this situation? How are we getting out of this and getting to a point where at least we can see the end of of the tunnel, to use another metaphor? Or when is the turnaround coming, that hope? I I've got a little bit of hope in my heart. That's the only thing left at the moment, right? There's a little bit of hope in my heart. But are we in a position to do what is needed to take Indian football back to the right side of the things? So for me, that's very difficult, right? Was it the live stream of Juggernauts and Elgato? Okay. I hope you enjoyed, Aditya. Um, but in India, for a sport that will become profitable of 20 years from now, maybe much long, no one in India is going to invest. So, but that's not true. Look at investments over the last 15 years in sports. Which league is profitable? Which sport is profitable? Or ask the question, which sport will become profitable in the next 10 years? Outside of cricket, there is no sport which is profitable. right? The ISL is not even an own problem, uh, you know, and but there is no looking at things. Let's see. Seems like nothing is happening this season, Peter. Yeah, it looks more and more likely that there will be no 25-26 season. 25 is over, right? There is no ISL in the second half of the season. We had a Super Cup for the sake of having a Super Cup, right? The IWL is happening for the sake of happening, and yeah, right. And this is sad. Aditya says it was good and felt good hearing his voice again, that of Carlos Delgado. A Spanish Maldini, he said club will take difficult decision if things go more bad. Country has not shut down and we have a good team. If we so like playing, okay. Yeah, but what is he gonna say? He's a player. Does he really know what the status of the club is? I don't know. The club has not shut down, but it is in standby mode, right? Aditya, if I like it, you know, and it is brutal at the moment. We have to say it is brutal where it is, and to me, I don't know if there is, So yeah, so time not good Indian football. Yes, the time is terrible. So Ranji Bajaj making fun of proper. Aditya, let it be. Why are we raising? Leave these people aside. Let us focus on what the problems are and try and find solutions. Was fantasizing in football league was a wrong decision, or was it done in the sake to gain popularity? But what is wrong of having a league, right? We need to have a league in India. Every other country in the world has some sort of league. But the question is, was the financial model right or wrong? Were assumptions right or wrong? That's the question. It's not about if the league was run. No, it's gain popularity. Of course, you want popularity. Every league is built on the premise that someone or the other will want popularity for that league to grow, and then more viewers, potential revenue via television. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Most conference still has to issue orders to clubs to accept the proposal. And good question. The AIFF, I mean, that letter today is just, unbelievable. I wrote unbelievable and monkey emoji. You know, you know. So yeah, right. Kill the little bit which is left, I guess, is at the moment. Implosion mode. Was my fault to watch this league? Was my fault to exactly fall in love with the GFC? Perhaps it's me who fell in love with the club. The late goals, the cheers, the East Bengal banters. It was something. Um, no, Aditya. It was. Don't call it a fault, right? I was talking to someone with whom I used to work at Mumbai City a few days ago, and he spent a few years at the club. It is sad, but see it as something positive that you had in your life, that you had the ISL, you know, and yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality of what it was, what it is, and where we are today. Um, and it's yeah, difficult. Um, and let's see, right? And not easy, but think back at the good days that you enjoyed things, and yeah, it is. Maybe those good times come back again. Why do AIFF still have confidence in KC? Pranjal, I don't know if the AIFF have confidence in Kalyan Javed. He's there, but they're not removing him. So do they have confidence in him? That's a different thing, right? If AIFF needed money to run the rest of the ecosystem, why did they not renew with FSTL? It is because the proposed structure by FSTL? Yeah, PC came at, I guess, because they were getting 50 crores without questions being asked, right? In the last decade plus, they were getting more than 50 crores, and no one was asking them even one question about, are you doing it right or are you doing it wrong, right? And that is, FSTL came back with a proposal saying that you're not getting money at the moment. They said, oh, we want 50 crores. No, but yeah. I-League was also done by money given by FSL, so FSL can't even take the credit of I-League. Yeah, also has to be said, in the last 15 years, the I-League was funded from FSCL, yes. I mean, league is a must, but the quality was almost like the top league in the world, except gameplay after 2008. So was fantasy is the wrong decision. Gameplay was never top, right? I don't know where you're coming from, Shubhad. It needed to grow, and we have a problem that um, that the first 2-3 years always seems to be good. Then you go into a lull, and then people don't know what to do. What's going on in Mumbai City FC, by the way, after City Football Group left? Panchal, they're alive and kicking. So they're there. They're not dead. They're asking clubs to tell what they want to participate before 1st January. And when the letter came, January was 7 hours ago. I don't think I can say anything. These people have. Leave it, man. I don't know, want to curse basically. So, yeah, Vidya, I tweeted about it earlier, right? It just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense, right? And we are where we are. Wants to own the league, but tell everyone else to do the work and figure things out. What logic is this, and whose big brains gave this idea? And ask the AFF this question. Good question, very good question. This is a question for the AFF to answer at the end of the day, right? Because in the federation, um, yeah, the gentlemen are there, right, to answer this question. So as the Federation I-League mafias, including Roundmare, has raised 100, 500 crores for First League, ask Aditya. I think this answer does need to be answered. Okay, the game needed to grow, and what we did, we killed it completely and turned it to ash. Now we're waiting for it to rise again. Yeah, I think we're waiting for the ash to cool down. I don't know where the ashes, what is going to rise of the ashes at the moment. If Kalyan can't be removed, this means something is fishy in committee members, and hence the committee members should be removed if we can't remove Mr. Chaudhuri. Arko, you can't remove the committee members also. Your problem is nothing fishy. The simple problem is in the way that the exco is built. Someone needs to stand up and say, you know what, we want to remove the president. And the first, it's a domino effect. I believe if one person in the last 2 years had stood up and said, remove the president would have been removed. But that first step, that first person, there is no leadership, you know? And so that's the thing, right? So therefore, for me, there is nothing in that, Orko. It is just that, yeah, the right things have been done. By what conference are they asking for confirmation? Did they found the broadcaster or YouTube is finalized? So what? They have nothing. They have no commercial partner. They have no funding, and they have no broadcaster. This is a pressure tactic to forcing the clubs to say yes. Now it is. I said this again. We're 2 hour plus, and I need to slowly end this. But you know, that there is nothing. And the clubs need to stand together, and that is the real test now. I learned something new too. Ralmira is not a good person. He, in fact, is tired with Raju. Aditya, I don't know, again. Where the players going to go, by the way? Pranjal, at the moment, nowhere. They are where they are. We know for sure everybody is bribed. That's why they are silent. Otherwise, they also know what's right or wrong. No, they don't. Orko, prove to me that everybody is bribed. You're making a huge allegation. Prove one person is bribed. Right? I can say that, you can say that, everybody can say that. But can you prove it? No. You know what? We have a body of incompetency as well. You are thinking And they know what is right or wrong, or they know what is do. Again, I ask 90% of people don't know what's right. So yeah, until and unless they remove the clause of operator and owned by AIFF, even the new tender will fail. Can't believe these people asking for 80 crore plus and give no rights to commercial partner. Again, even if you remove the clause, do you think someone will come forward given the circumstances at the moment? My simple question. The clause needs to be removed. Yes. But removing the clause, will it result in someone coming forward? Just asking. I don't think so. It is not so easy to say, oh, you know what, you remove this clause and everything will fall in place. I don't think it's happening. I swear to God, people are not hating Kalyan. They have more and want him removed. The comment section was scary but felt satisfied. Okay. Any solutions that can remove because that's not going to happen. Sure. We have to wait for a new AIFF to come in. I don't see Kalyan Chaudhuri being removed. I agree with you. We need a new AIFF. Otherwise, this impasse will not stop. And if the clubs agree to play, then to good night. I hope not. But again, I don't trust anybody in the system. But they do have to play, right? No, they don't. Why do they have to play? The entity which brought most of these entities in is gone. Reliance is gone. Okay, so if Baichung loves to scream in front of the media, then why not actually take right steps at Exco? Because nobody would follow him, Aditya. Where is, as I said, you have to understand, it's not that it's most of these people, the problem is here. Who's going to stand up and who's going to be followed? I say this again and again, it needs leaders and leaders, right? If we can't prove anything, then as a fan, at least we should shame them. 100% Orko, go ahead, do that. Call them out. 100% you should be calling them out. And you add, I'm fed up of their incompetence. Now fans should aim for everyone's to resign or resignation. Yeah. Would be the best thing. If the EXCO of the All India Football Federation said, you know what, due to incompetence, we, as the EXCO of the All India Football Federation, we resign. They're not going to do that, right? That's the problem. In 2013, with Proful disastrous exit, Kalyan came and people cheered, saying the businessman is gone and a sports person has actually come. Now Indian football will go to skies, even kill now. Feels funny. It was 2022, Aditya, not 2023. And I warned of that situation at the time. I was the only one. I can proudly say I'm the only one in this whole conversation. Anyone who works in Indian football cannot hold his head high because they have blood on their hands. Arunava Chaudhuri is the only person who said we are going to get banned. Right? These are the things that will happen to the ISL. So these are problems and realities. I mean, the players, they don't need to play, right? Where are they going to play? They do need to. Yeah, of course, they need to play. I don't know where they're going to play. I said earlier on, I had contact with few players contacted me in September, October, asking about Europe. No one has contacted me in the last few weeks, right? There's hope and wish. Removal of clause, that's too not going to happen because then the ego will burst and Ranji fans would say, it's the arm-twisted Supreme Court decision. Shubha, this is no longer a Supreme Court decision. That clause will be removed and other clauses will be removed as well. If a new AIFF, whenever it comes in, will have to make multiple changes to the constitution. That constitution doesn't stand. It's a governance nightmare, right? And it doesn't matter what Ranjit fans say. We need to stand up for what is right or for what is wrong. These people stand up for what is wrong, not for what is right. This is what we need to learn. Nobody's properly bribed if they are just some incompetent, overconfident fellows put together to run football. Welcome to the right conclusion, Aryan. Right? Are there not any opposing leaders in front of Chobe? Also, not at the moment. I know that there are 2-3 people who said to me, I would like to have a no confidence motion against the president. I said, brilliant, go ahead, do it. I said, no, I will not be the first person to do it. That's the problem. Damn it, the fans will support anyone at the moment. Someone should come ahead and take the lead. Yeah, but that's not also going to solve our problems, right? The problem of football fans is that they are neither united or like cricket fans. If any problem happens in cricket, people were literally burning dolls of Jay Shah, but Kalyan is still untouched. Aditya, yeah, but you know what? Don't compare football with cricket. That is your first mistake that you're doing. None of the fan is in the favor, but even though they are not going to resign, we as the fans can only wait and watch. Nothing else. Only a FIFA ban might work. Yeah, but there are no reasons. You know. So when will people realize we need business-minded people to run football to get in money? Football is not some charity sports. Aryan, that's the whole point. That is the whole point of this whole situation. A Ranjit East Bengal fan tried to blatantly lie on Reddit, and people, instead of believing and jumped on him so much, he deleted the account. It seems the Ranjit illusion is finally over. I hope so. I really hope so. Great. Indian player can play in Faroe Island League. No, Faroe Island is an amateur league. No one will take. I mean, makes no sense, right? Cricket fans were never united, just they're more in numbers. Again, I don't know enough about cricket, but I'll slowly come to an end. We've got less than 4 minutes for the new year. Oh no, let me finish these 4 minutes as well, guys. Let me usher in the new year with you here in India. On my account. Once more, reminder, if you're liking the conversations, do leave a like behind, share it with others. And if you haven't, do subscribe to Arun Foot here on YouTube. Help me grow. 31 likes today so far. Thank you very much. That we reach the 4,000, that we reach the 5,000 and more. I need your support to grow this channel. And of course, not only here, but also my other social medias, be it my X, be it my Instagram as well. 3,632 people supporting me here as subscribers. Thank you very much, guys. And let's keep on growing this honest football community to you guys. And that's the thing. Everyone in this world has some plan to progress football, but in India, I think we are not perfectly executing the plans, if about execution or planning. Orko, execution, I agree 100% is a problem. But where is the right plan? I don't see a right plan also. For the right plan, again, it starts with leadership, continues. It continues. Yes, and then implementation. I think Indian players should now try in Thailand, Cambodia, Qatar, and Women's League in Japan second division. Apathy, nobody will. Sorry, Aditya, no one will take a second division. No one will take in Qatar and Southeast Asia. Let's wait and see. I don't think it will be very difficult. Happy New Year, sir. Hopefully, New Year will bring positive vibes. Yes, we've got a couple of minutes to go. Yeah, as Pranjal says, 2 minutes to go in India. I not only me, but I think all of us should hope and wish that that better times are ahead. It is tough, it is difficult, but again, the wishful thinking is still there, in my opinion. So therefore, I'm hoping something good happens. But again, I'm skeptical. I've become skeptical of things, and this 2025 doesn't leave anything positive in there. Senior player not able to play in France. That I don't think they have the ability to play in Europe in general. Right? Lower level, amateur level, and the amateur level you can't get a contract because you need a pro contract. So therefore, guys, we're a few seconds away from the new year in India. For me, 20 we missed FIFA third round, but will be good. 24, the national team did very bad. 25 will be better. 24, oh my God, even yeah. Let's see how 2026 is. Yeah, it was 24, 25. You go 23, 23, 23, we were superb, right? Because we won the three tournaments. We drew 2-2 with Iraq. We won against Kuwait, sorry, more than 2 hours of talking. And Happy New Year, Dark Knight. Happy New Year, Aditya. Happy New Year, everyone. My best wishes, all of you. Thanks for spending this New Year's Eve and the New Year with me talking about Indian football. It means a lot to me. But as I said today, right, it's having a lot of conversations, even though I'm not officially involved with Indian football at the moment, or not involved at the top level. But again, so with that, Pranjal, Happy New Year to everyone except AIFF. With that, I come to an end of this longer live. You're welcome, Dark Knight, all of you. Maybe even if you guys are watching afterwards, it's difficult. We're in a difficult phase, but let's fight. Let's hope. And as PC Gamer Tech says, Happy New Year. Let's let 2026 bring everyone success. Yes, not only us, but let's hope Indian football goes back to the path of what is good and what is right. And let's wait and see. From my side, my best wishes, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Do not stop supporting Indian football and everything else. Hopefully, at some stage, will fall in place. Thanks a lot for joining me on this, what still is New Year's Eve in Germany. Happy New Year in India and other parts of the world. And I'll catch you soon again, guys. Yeah, I'll most probably do something tomorrow, or rather for you today, New Year's Day in India. Good night, everyone.